Have you ever felt that anxiety or nervousness just before you speak? Sweaty palms, perhaps a knot in your stomach, a feeling of dread? If so, you're not alone. I'm Shanice, and in today's video, we're tackling the number one obstacle in public speaking: anxiety. The truth is that even professional speakers like me still get nervous, but we've learned how to channel it into power. Now, I don't know about you, but the way my mind works is that if I can first understand something, it goes a long way in helping me deal with whatever it is that's causing me fear or stress or anxiety. So let's start by understanding anxiety. What's happening? Why that racing heart? Why those butterflies? Well, you probably heard this before, but let's take it a little deeper. Your body's natural response to perceived danger will result in a racing heart and butterflies because public speaking triggers your fight or flight response. Why? Evolutionarily, back to the cave days, when you were judged by a group, you could be found wanting. And if you were found wanting, it could mean rejection from the tribe. And rejection from the tribe meant that you would not survive and you would die. That is why, literally, public speaking causes us to feel like we are going to die. But there's good news. Because we can now understand that it is a physiological response that feels like anxiety, it means we can reframe it. We can say, as opposed to feeling anxious, I'm feeling excited. The symptoms are actually identical. That's the interesting thing. Think about when you were on a first date with someone you really loved. You felt those same butterflies. Maybe you felt that same feeling on your palms of sweatiness, that knot in your stomach. Do you see what I'm saying? So if you can reframe it in your brain and tell your mind that I'm not nervous, I'm energized, I'm excited, our interpretation goes a long way in helping to quell that anxiety. So that's number one. Understanding why it's happening, that it's perfectly normal, but you can actually reframe it is very powerful. Then the second one is obviously a practical technique I want to give you. Preparation is your best friend and the best antidote to anxiety. Do you know why? Anxiety means a loss of control. Most people who are anxious, it's because there is something that they know they cannot control. Speak to anyone with anxiety, they will tell you they just feel bad, they just feel anxious and they don't know why. But psychologically, it's because we know there's something outside of our field of either capability, or we don't know what's coming, or we don't have the resources to deal with what's coming. That's what causes anxiety. So, what do? We prepare. Know your opening and closing lines cold. I mean, memorize them. Just your opening and closing, though, and I'll tell you why in a bit. Practice the full presentation at least 3 to 5 times. Do a dress rehearsal in conditions that are as close to the real event as possible. Enlist your friends, people you trust and love, your spouse, your kids even, to watch you as you present it and give you some feedback. But here's the key. I'm coming now back to why I'm saying only memorize your opening and closing lines. Don't memorize every word. That's ironically going to cause you even more anxiety. Because if you miss even one, you're going to go into a spiral of, oh my God, I've forgotten, and then the whole thing will just fall apart. Just know your main points and your stories. That allows you to be present rather than straining to remember your script. Stories are so key. I tell myself a story all the time, and I tell people stories because it's easy to remember a story. It's harder to remember point by point, if that makes sense. Now, what do you do on the day of? The day has come, you've practiced, you've understood what anxiety is and where it's coming from, and now there you are on stage. But you still feel the butterflies. You still feel the nervousness. Now we have got to take you into your body because anxiety can be combated if you do some of these physical techniques. The first is the power pose. Okay, find privacy. I love this one. And stand with that Wonder Woman pose. Legs akimbo, hands on your hips for 2 whole minutes. Research shows this actually lowers your cortisol and raises your confidence. Just the appearance of confidence, right? This next one is my absolute favorite because I have done it and it absolutely works. Inhale for 4 counts through your nose. Hold your breath for 2 counts And then exhale loudly through your mouth for 6. Ooh, just doing that right now has sort of calmed me down because it activates your parasympathetic nervous system. It physically forces and tells your body you are safe. There's nothing to worry about here. Do that as many times as you can. You've all seen the movies where they're trying to calm somebody down and they're saying, breathe, breathe. Well, now you know the reason for that and that it can actually help you in public speaking as well. And then, this is another favorite one of mine, progressive muscle relaxation. What does that mean? Tense and then release each muscle group. Start with your toes, tense your toes, release your toes. Tense your legs, release your legs. This one's going to be funny. Tense your butt. You know that saying you've got, don't act like you got something up your butt? Yeah, well, tense your butt, release your butt. This tensing and releasing, right, it actually releases physical tension that amplifies anxiety. So it's a really good one for you to do. But you've done all the three, you've understood anxiety, right? You've prepared, you've done the physical ones, you're still dead nervous. What if I told you that the mental game is now the linchpin? We talked about preparation, but there's one other thing you can do the night before that I promise you I have seen work miracles. The mental game is this. Have you ever wanted something in your life, let's say a new car or a particular handbag or shoes, and then suddenly you start to see them everywhere? They were always there, but now suddenly you have like this laser focus. Your brain keeps showing you these things. The brain doesn't know what's real and what's not real. Anything that's happening in your mind is real. That's why if I tell you to think about a sour lemon right now, I promise you that taste is literally going to come into your mouth. It's coming into mine. Because when you think of a sour lemon, your brain thinks it's happening and it produces the saliva to go with it. Wild, right? Now, and you're going to thank me for this one. Spend 5 minutes the night before. If you can spend 10 to 15, even better, right? The longer, the better. Imagining yourself delivering a flawless speech. See the audience engaged. Hear how confident your voice is. Feel the satisfaction of success. Imagine people coming up to you after your speech and saying, "That was amazing. Thank you so much for that speech. Can you tell me more? Can I take you out for coffee? Can I," right? Imagine exactly how you would like that event, speech, presentation, pitch to go. And visualize it. But more than visualize it, feel it. Feel the sense of pride, the sense of relief, the sense of joy and happiness. Feel yourself enjoying the day and the presentation. This is so key. I promise you, I've done this so many times and I am blown away by how my brain replicates the exact same thing I was practicing the night before. Number 2, cognitive framing. Replace thoughts like I'm going to mess up with I am sharing valuable information that will help others. Take the focus off of you onto what you are going to present. Focus outward. You see, anxiety is self-focused. If you can shift your attention to serving your audience instead of worrying about yourself, it'll work wonders to relieve that idea of, ooh, the tribe is going to find me wanting and therefore kick me out and then I will die. Remember, the audience wants you to succeed. It's in their best interest too. Who wants to attend a boring speech? Not this person. They're on your side. And if you can convince yourself of that, it will go so much better. Okay, so we've prepared. We've understood what anxiety is. We have done our mental work. We've visualized. During the speech, what happens? If anxiety hits you during your presentation, maybe you skipped or stumbled on a word, maybe you accidentally made eye contact with someone who looked super bored. That's happened to me. Pause and take a breath. It's okay to actually have moments of silence in your speech. In fact, it's powerful because people know how difficult it is to do that. They respect you for that. A deliberate pause feels powerful to the audience, but gives you time to recenter. Look for a friendly face. If there's a friend or family member who's come to support you, make eye contact with them. It'll calm you down. I love this one because it's my favorite. I love props. Props make you feel comfortable. If you have a glass of water, if you have a cup, if you even go with a prop like a piece of paper, use it because that helps to calm you down. It takes the focus off of you and onto the prop. Isn't that amazing? So you can actually use the prop to say, well, if you look at this piece of paper, I've got opening and closing lines. Practice, don't cram. Don't ever cram your entire speech. It's just a prop, but it makes me feel so much better. Like someone else is on the stage with me, taking the heat with me. I'm not by myself. Okay. And then return to your purpose. Keep reminding yourself why this message matters to your audience. Remember, perfection is not the goal, connection is. And people connect with that which is real, which is authentic. I've messed up on stage on a monumental, like huge, important presentation, and I actually stopped and said to everybody, I'm actually a little bit nervous. And guess what? The whole room just started rooting for me because they all know what it's like to be nervous. And I felt the energy shift, and I felt these people are rooting for me. They're not here to judge me. And it was one of the best presentations I've ever given, but it started as one of the worst presentations I've ever done. So here's the secret. With practice, anxiety can be transformed into your competitive advantage. That energy, you can fuel a passionate, dynamic presentation that flat out beats the perfectly calm speaker every time because you're real. I really hope this helped you. In our next video, I'm going to cover how to structure a compelling speech that keeps your audience hanging on every word. Until then, I'm Shanice, reminding you that feeling nervous doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. It means that you care enough to do it right.